more than just palm trees and the best climate on earth. That said, I think there's also another hurdle that I didn't see in your presentation, but I was a little late at the beginning, and I learned this from the economist Charles Wathen, who was part of the Urban Housing League here, and that is that there's a big barrier to these graduates coming out. They're already $250,000 in debt, and to turn around and buy a house at $650,000 for a median home, you're $1 million in debt, and you haven't even got your first check-in from seeing your first patient. So, I mean, that's just daunting for a graduate, and it's part of the exodus that we're having to deal with.
And actually, the orthopedic surgeons in Windward, Oahu, and we just closed one of our offices on Friday and let all our staff go.
What?
Yep. You cannot. We brought in a guy from Idaho, and he's making double what we make here. And he worked for 2 weeks, and he was going to come back, and he's not coming back. So we're doing every other night call. We can't, you can't even begin to compete. And what you don't bring up is the general excise tax kills us. 4.5% right off. And when you tell these guys about the general excise tax, they're like, why am I going to take, when you get 4.5% taken right off the top? Then you got HMSA, and they just sued in California Blue Shield for being a nonprofit. They pay their executives this huge amount of money. They're not out in the trenches where I work every single day. I work 16-hour days. I can't do anymore. I'm taking care of all of Maui's total joints. I'm doing, so I'm covering Maui, plus I'm doing Oahu. I can't see everyone, and there's so many people that just can't even get in. And you see people that 2 weeks ago fractured, and now the fracture's sticky, and they haven't been able to get in to see anyone. And it's horrible. So we need 5, we used to have 5 orthopedic surgeons in Windward, Oahu. There's 2 of us. And you can't get anyone to come. And the people that come, once they see, so the general excise tax on healthcare needs to go. And HMSA needs to stop. They need to pay, and the doctors that have left have said, when Galen Cam left and went to the mainland, he said, when I turn in for codes, they pay me on all the codes that I do if I do more than one procedure, and they pay so much more and more reliably. HMSA will drop codes and not pay on this. You spend so much administrative time. Someone needs to, let's get to the real crux of the problem. And they pay into every lobby, group for the legislators. They have all the legislators in the palm of their hands, and they do everything they can to screw over the doctors and the healthcare providers, and we just can't. You can't survive.